security expert. Uche, you want to introduce him to us?
Oh yes, and that's the person of Ambassador Roy Oamien. Okhidievbie. Okay, I got it right.
Ambassador Roy Okhidievbie.
Okhidievbie.
Good morning,
Thank you
sir.
very
Welcome
much.
to the
Yeah,
show.
pleased to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
too.
let's just dive into it. Roy, first off, let's start with the Operation Python dance, which just ended in the south eastern part of the country. In your opinion, how would you say the military fared in that exercise? Because there were a whole lot of insinuations, a whole lot of allegations, but how would you say they fared, really?
Well, there were other dances, and this is Python dance 2. And in Python dance 1, we were seated here too, I and you, Justin.
Yes, where?
And we looked at why and how. And you know, there were a lot of hype then. In any time that there is hype, okay, hype in escalated insecurity situations, you know, the government itself releases agencies that can quell such hypes.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, I will score all the dances, okay, to say that they have been able to meet their targets. Okay, if you want to give it a percentage score, it is not a security situation. If you want to analyze a security situation, you must make sure that you collate the targeted incidences that it wanted to quell. Now, a security situation that required these activities was actually one that wanted to take care of the enemy within. Yeah, because you see, some people were quiet, some people allowed themselves to be taken as part of the town criers and all of that. You know, there is an enemy within. Okay, look at a soldier. Let's look at a soldier for an example. Right. A soldier is somebody that grew up like me and you. He is also one of those that wanted to have a job. He saw other jobs. He took the one that he signed to lose his life to his country. Okay. To his country. You can't lose your life if you don't love. These are the most patriotic set of people. You can't lose your life if you don't love. So this set of people that you see, if the government is being manipulated for any purpose, which we all know is possible, it's also happening in government security agencies. It's happening in the police, it's happening in the army. You remember the time we were seated and we heard that the information is released to Boko Haram insurgents when troops are en route.
Yes.
That was the time we lost a lot of soldiers from ambushes and all. No, now, you can now see this set of people. And you look at the reasons. Many people were leaving the country. Just some few months back. Many people were closing businesses. Some few months back. Many people started to do a double think. What to invest in Nigeria some few months back, because it was clear that the country will disintegrate. Who will bring an integration of the perceived disintegration, if not for the strongest force in the ground? In your house, if any of your sibling is becoming strong-headed, the next thing is to report that person to the father. I would like to say that if the army goes out of its way to violate any rules and regulation, it is possible, because no effective organization that does not have its flaws. But to tie it to a purposeful genocide on any part of the country is absurd. Why is it absurd? In every vehicle that you see military personnel, there is a Yoruba man there, there is an Igbo man there, and there is an Hausa man there. Those are the three major tribes we can say we have. Now, if we have that as a team, even the A commander, the brigade commander, the div commander, to the chief of army staff, even the team of the chief of army staff, you have a conglomerate of tribes within, religions within. So if the army is going any direction, people should use intelligent findings and postulate proper information to appropriate agencies. Even journalists like you should capture these events and bring them out as live footages, not assumptions. So the dances will continue, and the dances are helping us.
Wow. So in your own opinion, you think it is true? You think that it is true that the military is actually using, would I say, their uniform as a tool to probably achieve some maybe personal or a team goal or something? Is that what you're saying?
Let me ask you a question. Nigeria is going to play World Cup now, right? I opened my radio. I was hearing them saying, do we go and play friendly match in UK? Do we go and play friendly match in Africa with African teams? Do we play friendly match with diaspora teams? Why do you want to play friendly match before the World Cup? Is it not to familiarize yourself with the strategies and the tactics of the enemy?
Yes.
Is it not to familiarize yourself with the pitch, with the ground, with the new FIFA rules and regulations, with the type of referees that will come to referee the matches? If you want the army to be able to contain insurgency within a country, it is even disheartening where they pack military men to Liberia, to Sudan, terrains they don't know anything about. Then we are talking about the enemy within. We don't want the army to burst into a place and kill innocent souls. How do you achieve that? They must get familiarized with the terrain. They must initiate operational competence with the equipment they want to use. They must be able to have parley with the communities to be able to assign who is the bad egg, who is the one that is actually a legalized citizen of the country. They must be able to know what civilian bodies, groups they can relate with to generate intelligence. These are the purpose of all of this. You know, people didn't read the statement. The statement was actually saying the exercise was to familiarize the troops with the terrain, with operational capabilities, in the course of which, because it must happen, in the course of which, if we see any group of vandals, if we see any group of criminals, we will expel them. And most times they are taken and handed over to the police. Look at the times the Navy pick up pirates and all these vandals on the crude lines and all. They hand them over to the police. Do you usually hear the end of it? So it's now time. See, one of my younger brothers sent me something yesterday. He said that a leader that has 98% performance score is not celebrated on the 98% score. He is discarded for the 2% failure, and he should expect it. When I read that, I said, that's great, because the army is expecting the 2% failure for it to be discarded with, and it's not ready to allow the center to break.
Okay, Roy, let's just look at this critically, because a whole lot of people still don't understand that. Fine, you've tried to portray what the military said in their statement, but when we had insurgency and in the northeast, of course, we could actually justify the presence of the military, but with the new deployment of the military now to some southwestern states and even south-south, are you saying that it is needed because there is insurgency in the southwest or in the south-south, really?
What have you heard of Operation Lafia Dole?
Yes.
Where is it?
In the northeast.
But people don't know that there are operations in the northeast. Recently, a warrant officer was promoted to a captain because the troops he was actually leading were in front line fire position. And he has held that place like an officer, and he was recognized. If you look at the people sending appreciation and accolades, amongst them are different tribes. In that same northeast that we are talking about, Justin, take a trip. you will see establishments, estates, land, property, businesses owned by Yorubas, owned by Igbos in this Nigeria northeast, which the army is still protecting right now. Now, if you hear anything coming down south and you hear that it is for this purpose, why not go in? Listen, you see, one thing that I don't like is assumption and postulations. People hide under other people's umbrella. And when you are under my umbrella and the sun is shining on us, the color of the umbrella is what we should reflect on both of us. Yes. If I am seeing military men in my community, hello, they are paid with my taxpayer money. I have a university that has a medical department of my indigenes. Why can't they walk to the military people and say, oh, we know you want to do a health exercise. We want to support it. Why can't the traditional head go with his chief and say, we are welcoming you and we want this person and this person to support you? Why not even use retired military personnel from your tribe to do the liaison with the military people you see on ground and say, okay, we are from this village, we are also retired military people who want to relate with you to see how we can help you. In the course of that, will you not be able to know if their purpose is criminal? Will you not be able to discern if these people are coming to exterminate my community, if they are coming on a genocide trip? Would you not be able to take one or two of the medical equipment and go and test it and see if it has any virus or any contaminating agent and give it to the United Nations or any world body? There's a United Court, there's a world court. You take it there, take it up with evidence. With evidence. Yeah. But we stay away and we look at them as them and us. Then how do you get the facts? Then if the army even have that intention and they come and they tell you, we don't have the intention, you didn't even go close enough. You didn't go close enough. If you are a retired personnel, you have retired back to your village, you should have the interest of your people at heart. So why not relate with the military people that came into your village and say, please, we are here also, Espiritu Corps. Please, how do we help you? Because it is in the course of saying, how do we help? How did missionaries come to Nigeria? They came to say, we want to help. If the people say, let me help you, military man, they will have an inlet into the clique. And you'll be able to take out whatever information you need to have concrete evidence.
Okay, but you know, there's something about the military and their uniform, and they bring some sort of a fear stance per se. You know, what I really don't get is if we are now deploying the military to these areas, and I know sometimes they even go after kidnappers lately, are we saying that the place of the police is not really that strong again in a fight against crime?
We are back to that matter. We started this matter when Channels TV went to police college last time. We started this matter here, Justin. We said that the police is understaffed, undermotivated, and poorly oriented. Yes. Those are the three challenging aspects. You know, you see, if we wait for the police with all the gymnasts that is going on, right now, after we were through with hearing that judges had foreign currency in their sockaway pits and all, we knew that the legal system is challenged by the onerous corruption syndrome in Nigeria. Now we are recently hearing things about the police itself, where the police is even challenging a senator that is a deserter, and is coming out to say, I'm not a deserter. No facts, no record, no disengagement documents and all of that. Go back to the source. If you want to help the Nigerian police, give the right motivation, the right orientation, and the right logistic. Number one. Two, why not open the doors? If you want to recruit people, you are going to recruit people for Peace Corps. You are going to recruit people. NSCDC has been armed now because of the national projects that they protect. Okay. Now, what happens to the colleges of the police? Who has gone to check if they have increased the qualification of entry, if they have increased the number of people? Because every time we hear the police is recruiting 10,000 policemen,
Yes.
2,000 policemen, are they not graduating? Why have you people not gone to cover the graduation? Why have you not interviewed the graduates to say, how do you see this training that you went through? Were you given the right orientation? Because you were one of the citizens that were suffering the abuse and the lack of policing. So now that you are a police cadet, you are graduating, where have you seen your training adding value to the expectation of the society?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll come back to you, but who joined us from Ibadan to talk about the ongoing military operations, specifically how the military has fared so far, and of course the essence of the sister agencies, the Civil Defense Corps and the Peace Corps, and of course the police. I comment that before we went to Ibadan, you were trying to talk about solutions here.
Yeah. So there is a line, that perceived line of violence and intimidation that has been drawn to the eyes of many against the military. People just assume if you see the military, they are coming to crush you. But underlyingly, under the blanket, let me intimate you, a lot of times in time past, we have seen where police and military has fracas. A lot of times. A lot of times you will see this kind of issues against the army and other sister agencies that have reduced drastically. Why? The army has created a military-civil relationship platform. They have it. It's like a department right now. And that department has liaised with the DSS, it has liaised with the police, it has liaised with all sister agencies. None of the successes of the army today that has not gotten input from police, from DSS, they all support what the police is doing, the army is doing, sorry, the immigration, the customs, they all support. See, there is a strong relationship right now. The police is ready, and they always also carry away from the army hoodlums that are apprehended in any of these exercises that take over. And you know, there was a time that the Navy will do a ceremony. The TV will cover it when they are handing over culprits to the police. Yes. Okay? That shows a lot of relationship. That is respect. Why will I risk my life to go into a place to catch criminals, to vandalize, and people that vandalize government property, and bring them and hand over to a department, an institution that I think is useless? No. The army respects the police a lot. That is why they could hand over culprits to the police. It is the outcome that's usually the problem, because the police is limited by data. They don't have enough data. Somebody arrested in Kano, if you bring him to the DPO in Lagos State here, he could not be able to punch any system to know that you did a crime yesterday, you have committed a crime 6 months ago. You know, so they have that limitation. They have also the limitation of the judicial system, where the police now come as a prosecutor, they bring a criminal to court. It's no more in their hands right now. They can see that guy walking by their station the next day and say, sir, morning, I'm out. Now, if they have those kind of encumbrances, that means they need support. So nobody should think that there is a violent line being drawn, that the army is released like a bulldog to just come out of the cage and bulldoze. You know, hear what that man was saying, that the python is coming to swallow. He's forgetting that there are pythons that are pets. He's forgetting that if you go to a circus today, there are pythons that are used to make games. He's forgetting that a small boy on the street, usually with a small stick, do games with a python and people pay money to it. A python is an animal. It's just symbolical. Now let's look at the military associating with civilians. Recall, anywhere you build a barrack, give it 6 months. You will see the population that will burst out around the barrack. Ojo cantonment was a bush before it is now what it is. Anywhere. Why do people warm up to the military? Go to the military Mami market. You will see doctors, lawyers, bankers with their jeeps parked. They are there having a relaxation time. Why do they feel safe with the military to go there and relax themselves? Go to military hospitals. Go to military laboratories. You will see civilian, even civil hospitals referring cases to military hospitals, military labs. There is a relationship and it is warm. The politics within is the one trying to create the anarchy, because the intervention of the military at any time will create sanity. And sanity is not good for divisive attempts.
Okay, but would you now think that with all those rumors that were peddled as regards the killer vaccines being used by the military would actually change its operation in coming months and years?
The military operations does not change. Now, if there is propaganda, there is damage control activities that needs to be done. You had the Minister of Health. He has come out to make his own statement. There's a lot of WhatsApp broadcast going around now about what the minister has said. You had those youths in Bayelsa, what they are talking about, that it is not only in Bayelsa and it is not a military attempt. Now, did you read the broadcast that said the military is going around injecting people? And it mentioned, I underlined it, that within an hour that the person will collapse. If the person will collapse within an hour and they are in a school and they have injected pupil A, pupil B, that means they must leave that place before an hour, because within an hour 1, 2, 3 will start to collapse. If people you just injected are collapsing, where are they? Do you have any on your screen? Did any of your journalists interview any family that said, look at where he was injected by the military? So these are propagandas. And propaganda will come. It will come in multiple folds, especially when you are fighting an institution of corruption, an institution of anarchy, insurgency. It will fight back. So it's fighting back with propaganda. Fine. Any stabilized organization should take the hit. Take the hit and make sure you put lives and property under the security it deserves.
Wow. So I would take that as one of the preferred solutions, from your own opinion.
Yeah, if you want to look at solutions, you know, last time when we heard about this, we are being marginalized in the East, I asked them, I said, bros, my wife is also from the East. How many times have we had Easterners in? Do you remember there was a time the second in command in a military regime, his house was burnt in Edo State? What was his name? His house was burnt in Edo State. Let's not even bother about the name. The people from the universities went to his house and burnt it. There were times too that people throw stones at some of these senators, legislators that don't enact laws, that don't push for policies that will affect the people. What happened to bursary? Those days, my senior brothers used to go to school. They said they paid them bursary. Because they paid them bursary, everybody wanted to be in the university. Why? Because you know that it's a jolly place to be. And when they are leaving the university, you hear that because you score so and so point, Chevron is calling you, Mobil is calling you, Shell is calling you. What is happening? Where are they? Where were they? These are our people that are talking now when all of these things collapse. These are motivations for the youth to show them that the right direction will get you to your target position. Now, it has not been so. Who were those that could control the ends of power? They have not done what they need to do. So I'm imploring everybody, especially youths, forget about the distraction. Even if you want to vote for an elderly person now, ask him for his manifesto. When he gives you his manifesto, make sure you are one of the key players in actualizing the manifesto. And if that manifesto is deviating from course don't be compromised by any financial or any kind of benefits.
Yeah.
Once he's deviating from course, resign.
Wow.
When you resign, you come out, bring all the information you have come out with, and paint them black. If you do that, then they will know that the other ones inside too are also gearing to go. Before you know what's happening, people will stop manipulating these youths of this
All
country.
right, I'm afraid we are out of time. I want to say many thanks to you, Ambassador
so
Roy,
much,
for joining
sir.
us, and your views, which are very, very, very laudable. Many thanks for being a part of the show
Thank you,
this
sir.
morning.
It's a
Our
pleasure.
guest has been Ambassador Roy Okhidievbie. He's the CEO of August IM Security. And of course, Uche, we had
Yes, we had the former governor of
Anambra
Anambra State,
State,
and that's the person of
Chief Chukwuemeka Ezefe, and of course, Comrade Alfred Ismail, who joined us from Ibadan. Many thanks to all our guests.